Frederator. Unlike most MCNs, this company has been around since even before the start of YouTube. Frederator arguably got most of its popularity from its kids' animated TV shows like Adventure Time, about a kid who lives with his magical dog in the land of Ooh. The show gained a lot of traction with adults and children for their likable character designs and rich field plot. Along with Adventure Time, they also produced other shows like The Fairly Odd Parents, Fanboy and Chum Chum, My Life as a Teenage Robot, and much more. They even helped with starting the YouTube Creator Academy. Yes, that Creator Academy. But there's a lot more to tell when you try to know your MCN. Fred Seibert was the founder of Frederator. What makes Fred Seibert different than, let's say, Danny Zappin, the founder of Maker Studios, is his persistence. You see, Frederator didn't just come out of the blue. Fred was born on September 15th, 1951, making him over 65. Now all of those years didn't go to waste. Fred started out as the first creative director at MTV Networks, now called Viacom Networks, and commissioned the now famous MTV logo, the I Want My MTV slogan, the Moon Man MTV promos, and he also helped with branding nostalgic networks like Nickelodeon, Nick at Night, and Comedy Central. That then caught the eye of Hanna-Barbera, who hired him to be the head of the company while they were struggling financially. He then went his own separate way to found Frederator Studios in 1997, and then they released their first original show, Oh Yeah Cartoons, an animated TV show that played a variety of animated shorts. The show ended up greenlighting shows to be made into television series, such as Chalk Zone, My Life as a Teenage Robot, and of course, The Fairly Odd Parents. Also, during the same time, Fred made What a Cartoon, later renamed to the What a Cartoon Show, or the Cartoon Show, before he founded Frederator Studios. The show was similar to Oh Yeah Cartoons, just on Cartoon Network instead of Nickelodeon. The show also ended up making other popular TV shows like The Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Laboratory, Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Family Guy, and more made into their own series. Though with these spin-offs, they were not produced by Frederator, while the other shows from Oh Yeah Cartoons were. In 2005, Fred Seibert asked one of his young interns to put the Channel Frederator podcast onto the Sony PSP. The intern's name was David Karp, who would later go on to found a small social media company known as Tumblr. The podcast was very similar in tone to the other projects. The podcast played a variety of animated shorts similar to the projects Frederator worked on before, like Oh Yeah Cartoons or the What a Cartoon Show. The podcast was the second to come to the video iPods, the first being a sister show of Frederator's next new networks called VOD Cars. The Channel Frederator podcast was on the top of the iTunes charts for an immense amount of time, being one of the biggest podcasts on iTunes. They also put it on YouTube, launching their channel. The first ever short to be on Channel Frederator was one made by Pendleton Ward called Barista. If the name Pendleton Ward sounds familiar to you, it's because he was the original creator of Adventure Time. Also, in the short Barista, there were a lot of signature elements from it that would later be used in Adventure Time, such as the main character in Barista who resembled like the main character in Adventure Time. Fred also went on to found Next New Networks, as mentioned before. Next New Networks was an MCN before the Channel Frederator Network. But what made this so special is it was the first ever YouTube multi-channel network. Then, a number of other companies paid close attention and capitalized off of it themselves, especially Machinima. The most notable people who signed with Next New Networks are Vsauce, Michael, Fastlane Daily, and much more. The videos from the network got the #1 and #2 spots for most watched YouTube videos in 2010. But then in 2011, YouTube bought Next New Networks and changed it into the YouTube Creator Academy. The YouTube Creator Academy was supposed to bridge the gap between the programmers and the content creators. Even though Channel Frederator was focusing on their internet media more, that didn't stop them from doing what they were always best at: television. Even though they were now more busy, Frederator still had time to create a new show called Random Cartoons for Nickelodeon, another animated short from Variety Show. Out of all the shorts, only 3 got picked up by the network to be made into a series: Fanboy, Bravest Warriors, and Adventure Time. While Channel Frederator picked up Bravest Warriors as a show for their YouTube channel, Adventure Time and Fanboy were pitched to Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon eventually passed on Adventure Time and picked up Fanboy, now renamed to Fanboy and Chum Chum, and they pitched the Adventure Time show to Cartoon Network, who accepted the show. This was seen as a big disappointment to Nickelodeon, being that to Fanboy and Chum Chum were almost universally hated, while Adventure Time has been loved and cherished by many. Frederator also announced in 2007 that they were starting up a new subsidiary called Frederator Films. They plan to release 2 films each year, but since then they haven't even got one. One movie they were supposed to get was a feature film version of the fan favorite TV show Samurai Jack, to tie up loose ends created in the series plot. Nothing has been said about the project for a while, but the show is starting up again on Adult Swim. But they still are staying silent about the movie. Another movie announced was a feature film of the popular show Adventure Time. Ever since the announcement, everyone working on the movie has been really tight-lipped about the whole thing. It's quite amazing to see how huge Frederator has become. Since they launched the Channel Frederator Network, they have since added the Leaderboard Network, which covers the gaming side of YouTube, Cinematica, which is for film buffs, and much more. They also have Frederator Flux, a subsidiary of Frederator Studios that makes unscripted informational content, and the 107 Facts series on the YouTube channels. And finally, we have Cartoon Hangover, which is like what Adult Swim is to Cartoon Network. Fred Seibert is a man of great persistence, doing what he loved for a living and shaping everyone's childhoods like the people before him. From all adults to even the millennials. Odds are you've seen something made from him. Frederator and Fred Seibert made some of the most memorable parts of our childhoods, and that is what makes them so special. Hey, what's up? Thank you so much for watching this. If you want to see more content like this in the future, please be sure to subscribe to Yellow Syrup on YouTube and hit the bell to get notified when there's a new video out. And if you like my voice, I'm Bunty King. You can go ahead and check me out on YouTube. Just type in Bunty King and you'll see a brown face, and all you gotta do is click on that brown face and then hit on subscribe as well. I love you so much. Thank you. Goodbye.